everybody. Welcome back to Real Talk. We're going to talk about real estate, real life, real fun, and real conversation. Today, I am so honored and I'm super excited to have my business coach, Tasha, with us today. So, Tasha, good morning or good afternoon, whatever time it is.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm
Oh my gosh,
excited to
I'm
be
so
here.
excited. I'm so excited. Everybody at KPG is upset that you're not here in person. We are on Zoom, but we're going to make this magic happen with technology. So, Tasha, tell
Perfect.
everybody about who you are and what you do.
Okay. My name is Tasha Fournier. I've been in the real estate space for about 25 years. And I started out in early in my career coming out of a divorce.
Hmm.
I needed to make a whole lot of money,
Hmm.
right? And what I thought was, oh, I can go look at a lot of houses and make a whole lot of money. That sounds fun. Let's do that,
Yes.
right? Like a lot of people do. Soon found out what really went into it and ended up working in a robust real estate career. And then about 10 years ago, I was approached by Tom Ferry because I was a coaching client. I
Okay.
knew I needed some direction and some guidance in my life. And so I signed up for coaching. And about 2 years in, they tapped me on the shoulder and they said, "Hey, you've got something here. Would you consider being a coach for us?" And so I started my formal coaching career there, which led me to eventually where I am today, which is out of production and in full-time coach, working with teams your size
Yeah.
and working with high level agents in our organization in the United States. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of the journey.
Yeah. And our journey, I don't even remember when we started coaching together. It's probably been about 8 months, I think.
Oh, I would have said longer.
Well,
I
I
would
know,
have to
well, we
look,
have
but
to figure that
it
out.
feels like I've known you forever.
I know. Well, I did have the pleasure of meeting you through other people that I'm friends with through Tom Ferry, who coach with you. And I had decided I needed a little bit more mindset in my life. And then I approached you at the summit and said, "Oh, it has been longer, Tasha. It's been a little over a year that we've coached together." Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
So I sat down with you, and we're going to talk about a lot of things today. So a couple things are you're also a breast cancer survivor, which we're going to
Yep.
talk about. We're also going to we're going to break this down into two segments because there's a lot to unpack here. So we have coaching, and then we have your superpower, as I mentioned, of mindset. So stay tuned because we're going to have a second podcast based on just mindset and why that's so important in any sales, and especially in the real estate, market. All right. So what is your favorite part about being a coach?
My favorite part about being a coach, I'm a connector. I love to connect with people, and I typically connect deeply. I'm not a small talk, chatty, surface level kind of person. I crave that deep connection. And so when we're in a coaching relationship, one of the first things that's most important for us is that we connect, right? We have a deep shared connection. I love that. That lights me up in my life to be able to have those deeper kind of conversations and relationships with people. I actually love when I can help someone marry the best version of themselves in life with strong systems, structures, and skills. And I see that marriage come together where you're living the best you and you're also operating your business with the most structure and systems that make it flow to help you hit your goals. When it all comes together like that, it's magic. That's my
Yeah,
favorite part.
it is. It is. And it's not, we're going to talk about this too, but a lot of your clients that you coach did not start out as team leads.
Right.
And they, as a lot of people know, I do not have a college education, which I know, Tasha, we're going to talk about that too. Um, but, it is, we've developed a lot over the years with our
Right.
systems
Right.
and figure things out and the KPIs and the quarterly goals and, making sure that we're on track to make sure that our team's on track. So you are really developing people in a business world that did not, start in a business world. They started selling homes.
Right. Right. Well, and a lot of times realtors will come in like I very much did. Ooh, this looks fun. I want to look at houses and I want to help people
Yeah.
and I
I'm
want to
good
make a
with
lot of money.
people. Yeah.
I'm good with people. That's what I want to do. Well, that fades quickly. Like once you're in it and you realize the business behind it, taking a real estate, someone that's good at the act of real estate and turning them into a business minded person is where we get scale,
Yes.
right? That's when we can grow. If we don't grow the business part of it, we kind of stay stuck in that. I want to help people. And that can be a hamster wheel that is not easy to scale. And
Yeah.
so you need both, really.
Do. And there's a difference between helping people than developing a program or a system of customer service, right? And I
A
think
hundred percent.
that is a really great way to look at it. It's not, it is a business. So, what's your least favorite part about coaching?
Well, um, the least favorite part of the coaching space, okay, so not the day-to-day coaching, but the coaching space, like we just talked about, there is a business to coaching, right, where you have to put yourself in the place to go get clients and keep just like lead generation, it's no different, right? And so that's one of the reasons I aligned myself with Tom, because that's my least favorite part of it. And wearing those multiple hats sometimes can feel like a pull away from the part that lights me up.
Yeah.
And so the business of being in the coaching space, I don't love. The coaching space is really loud, and there's a lot of people that are in it for self. And that goes to the second part of what I don't like. I think we're in a place in society, Karen, where people are questioning gurus,
Yeah.
right? Or people are questioning authority. They're kind of questioning the one and done. I don't like it in the coaching space when there's one way to do it. It's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
I think coaching is very much about who you are as a person, what you're learning about yourself, how you're growing in your business. And that doesn't really have a lot to do with my way. I
Yeah.
need to know what you're doing so I can put my skills and my knowledge to work for you. So I don't like a high egoic, this is the way to do it, where I'm not going to listen to what you want, because I'm here to activate and accelerate you, not to have you do it my way.
Yeah. Do you ever hear the story about how I got into coaching?
No.
So Jill Biggs, who obviously is my real estate sister, which I say a lot, she's like, you need a coach. And she coached with Tom Ferry organization. And I was like, okay. So 6 months after figuring out if I was going to do it, because, it was a big step, I did it.
Right.
I had two kids in college and I came home and I said to my husband, I'll never forget it. I'm so excited. I signed up for coaching. And he's like, how much is that? And I told him, and he's like, are you out of your mind? He goes, we have two kids in college. And I said, well, we'll figure it out, but I need a business coach. I said, I've been thinking about this for 6 months. And he said to me, who have you been thinking about it with? Because I know nothing. So, right? So we had a couple words. I told him I don't tell him how to run his company. He can't tell me how to run mine. I think I left and went and got a Diet Coke for 20 minutes. And I realized I had not shared my excitement with him. But I was also, at that time, I was at 300,000 GCI. So
Mhm.
if you think about that to where we are today, and I mean, it was life changing for me with mindset and also structure and growth. So, Tasha, what makes somebody coachable?
The desire to grow, a growth mindset makes someone very coachable. For me, the ability to take responsibility. I believe our lives are 100% our responsibility, right? And my path, I'm here to learn. I know exactly why I'm here in this lifetime. I'm a student of this life.
Mhm.
And when somebody comes to coaching with a desire to grow and a ability to take responsibility and some self-awareness, that's the best combination for coaching, because that creates a coachable mindset. If you think you already have all the answers and there's nothing wrong with you and everything is everybody else's fault, that can be difficult to coach through because there's no ownership and you have no control over that. And it comes more of a victim personality. Things are happening to you. Every people are doing things to you. And that's difficult to coach through. So that self-awareness, that understanding of you want growth, that's what to me the components that make people the most coachable, that growth mindset.
So in my bathroom on in a frame, I have the word self-awareness because it's one of my favorite words. I always think, we meet weekly, and then you meet with my team every other week. You had a coaching call with them this morning. Am I coachable?
You are very coachable
Yeah,
in that you will own your own stuff.
my shit. We'll
You
say it just
you'll
as
okay, we can say
you can say it. Yeah.
it.
Yes.
We can, if you can own your own shit, then you become curious about why you're
Yeah.
there, and then you have the power to adjust it if it's
Yeah.
not working for you.
So I
So
wrote
that's a
down
big
a
one.
couple things we're going to talk about. So
Okay.
recently I was having I don't want to call not an anxiety attack, but like a struggle of making decisions and, figuring out what I wanted to do, if I had the courage, suffering from a little bit of an imposter syndrome. And I was ranting to you saying, like, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up to be a team lead. You know, didn't go to college. Running a business can be hard. Do you remember what you said to me?
I likely said, yes, you did sign up for this. You
Yeah.
sign up for it every single morning when
Yeah.
you go to work.
So, and once again, we can say this. So, in a loving way, in a Tasha way, you didn't tell me you were sick of this story, but you said, like,
Oh,
I think you did say, I don't know, I'm kind of sick of that story in your head. And you don't agree with it at all. And I think you said to me, and I think it's bullshit. And you said yes every day. You showed up and said yes every day. And you knew exactly what you were doing. So stop with this story in your head because you did want this because you created this. And I was like, oh, okay, Tasha, good point, right? So it gave me the power, which is my word for the year, to
right,
realize like I can do this because I did create this, I did do this. So
right.
I thank you for that, for calling me out on
You're welcome.
BS. That's in our head, which we're going to talk about the mindset portion on our second episode. So why do you get is it hard for you to have those direct conversations or just who you are?
No, well, here's how I describe you. I believe I described myself to you when we started, and I say this to everybody. I have a huge capacity to care. I have a huge heart, but I have zero tolerance for bullshit.
Yeah.
And I can see it walking down the hallway. And what happens is we buy into our own BS,
Yeah.
right? We tell ourselves stories, we believe them, and then we go live in them. And we act as if they are true. And
Mhm.
if I can pull you out of that and remind you that you're in the driver's seat, you will course correct so easily and the light will go off. And you take me back to what I love about coaching because you pivoted on a dime. I said, Karen, I'm calling bullshit. Yes, you did. And you're really good at it. And you created this. And this is what you want. And you went, oh, okay, you're right. Next.
Next,
And
right?
it spun very quickly. It was very quick,
Yeah.
very quick. And I love that. So, no, I don't have any problem. It's my responsibility as a coach. You signed up with me and you said, help me be better. Tell me where I can work. So if I don't say those things, I'm doing you a disservice and I'm not doing my job. If
Yeah.
I hear it and I see it and I recognize the pattern in it, I have an obligation to you to share it with you. No
But
problem saying
one of
that
your
stuff at all.
jobs is actually keeping our self-awareness aware,
Right.
right?
Right. I'm a mirror, Karen. That's how I see myself. What I do, I don't feel like is about me. I feel like I reflect you back to you. I
Correct.
show you what I see and you go, ah, yeah. And then you can make those adjustments. I'm a big old mirror for you to see what you're capable of and where you're in your own way. Because
Yeah.
a lot of times we're stuck in the minutia.
Yeah. So one of the reasons, I mean, I've had some wonderful coaches throughout my coaching life of Tom Ferry.
You have.
I'm so grateful
Yeah.
for every one of them. And I remember specifically certain coaches saying certain things to me that were life changing. And
Mhm.
so breast cancer awareness. So when I met with you at the summit and said that I was looking, one of the things I wanted is I wanted to get my internal power back, right?
Right.
After having
Right.
breast cancer. And we were sitting in the back of the, 7,000 people, whoever were there at a table in the dark.
Mhm.
And you told me that about your journey. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, my view on this is a little bit different, and I don't want to project what I feel about my experience onto anyone else. But as a person who walks through life with the filter of what am I here to learn, I looked at that journey with breast cancer as a wake up call for myself. Um, Sometimes breast cancer comes from genetics, sometimes it comes from exposure, sometimes it comes from, all different toxins, all different things. Mine, very clearly to me, was a wake up call in that I was running my system into the ground and I was not prioritizing self or understanding what I was doing in my life. I was stuck in a state of fight or flight, and it threw my adrenal system off enough to be able to be a host for this thing called cancer.
Mhm.
And so it was a huge wake up call for me in how what I was doing with my life. And it actually was a catalyst for some huge changes. Right. But I saw it, maybe not in it, maybe not every day, maybe not while bald with chemo was I going, what am I here to learn? I mean, let's be honest, that stuff just sucks.
Yeah,
Right. But through it, there was a foundational tether where I could see, what am I supposed to learn here? Why am I here?
yeah.
Right. And if I can put that to something, it makes it easier for me to carry.
Yeah. Well, when I was diagnosed, I told my mom I had to go, my parents, I had to go public with the breast cancer journey based on, work and life. And my
Right.
mom said, absolutely, Karen. And I'll never forget it. She said, absolutely, you have to go public because you have no idea how many people you can help. Well, then it turned
Right.
into, now you probably don't remember this, Tasha, it turned into I felt that I was the poster child, which sounds extreme, but that's how I felt. And then you can't
Yeah.
the way you
Hmm.
feel of breast cancer.
Right.
And
Right.
and I said I didn't want to do that anymore. Like I just wanted to be me. Do you remember what you said to me?
Right.
You
Not
probably don't
exactly.
remember. So you said to me, and I'm not like quoting it, but this is the gist of it, that one day you'll move
Okay.
on from that and you'll be a survivor. You have to decide when you're ready, and it will no longer be your identity. And I was like, wow. And you said to me, you ready? And I was like, well, I still feel like shit. So no, I'm not ready. I still don't feel that great.
Right.
And you're like, but someday you'll feel
Right.
better and it will no longer be who you are. And I was like, oh, I can't wait for that day. And I finally feel in the last 4, 6 months that it's no longer who I am. It's who I was.
Yeah.
And as you said, I'm so not that I'm grateful for the journey, obviously. I am grateful to have helped people. I'm grateful to bring the
Right.
awareness now to breast cancer. But I no longer feel like a poster child, which I'm, so thrilled for that. So, but thank you for those words.
Yeah. And you're my pleasure. Whenever what we've been through can help other people, that's where it gains power and it transmutes into something more beautiful, right? That transmutation is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it makes mine make sense. I have a rule in my life where I like to talk about my scars, not my wounds,
Hmm.
because when I'm wounded, I'm not sure what it's supposed to be or how I want to carry it. I'm in it and I'm trying to figure it out. But once I'm through it and there's a scar there, I can talk about it and I can tell you what I felt and why I felt it and how it might help you. Right. And so being able to be on the other side of it and have that perspective, you can't buy hindsight, right? You have to go through it.
Yeah.
And so being able to go through it and see it for what it was and share that with others again goes back to that place where it makes it make sense to me,
Yeah,
right?
it does. So we're going to continue in a next segment talking about mindset, which I personally feel is your superpower. Is that your superpower, Tasha?
It comes very natural. It is my
Yeah,
superpower for
it is.
sure.
So thank you so much, Tasha, for joining us on Real Talk. We're still going to be talking with Tasha on episode 2 with her about mindset. So we'll see you soon. Take care.